afternoon. This is Coach West, the athletic director of Dream Academy, with the youth here from the city of Richmond, Virginia, and the county, sitting here together in our program. We're here this afternoon to express the idea that young people have dreams also, although people don't seem to feel they have dreams. They put them aside and they classify them, and in the city they call them pre-delinquents, kids who the city has given up on as being misfits and troublemakers. And right to my right, we come from all over the city of Richmond. Right tonight we have some leaders, and one, I'm up to the right, they're going to introduce themselves and what neighborhood they're from, and then we'll take it from there.
Hello, my name is Zaire, Trent, and I live in the Easton and Rico area.
Oh, good.
Hello, my name is Marquis, Reid, and I live in Barksdale.
Hello, my name is Jermal, and I live in Southside.
Hello, my name is Jermal, and I live in the Southside.
Hello, my name is Joseph Lowery, and I live in the Southside.
So as you see, these kids come from different walks of neighborhoods, different walks of life that could be out on the street shooting at each other and banging each other from neighborhood to neighborhood. That's what this program was about years ago when I came to Richmond. It's keeping kids from becoming involved in gangs and gang warfare and trouble in the neighborhood and the community, and believe that they do have dreams that can come true. We have a pants up policy. We have workshops that we do with these kids at Dream Academy, and we are really trying to put a emphasis on the need for young people to fulfill their dreams and potential. It doesn't matter what neighborhood they come from. Many of our churches have a problem. They preach what they don't teach. They say what they don't mean. And they get up in the pulpit and tell people that God loves everybody, but they turn their back on children. And the Bible says, suffer little children come unto me, forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of God. We get the idea there used to be a song years ago came out, practice what you preach. And I think with me and the kids here in the city of Richmond, the point is I don't lie to them. I struggle to do what I say I'm going to do. I don't take money and use it for my benefit, but I've taken these kids to eat at the Golden Corral. I've spent time with them. I think one of the kids here now may have taken a field trip to the Golden Corral with me. Which one of you guys was it?
It was me.
It was, okay, Marquis, Reid, with other kids who are not here. We have to have that experience. We've been to New York City. We've been to North Carolina playing ball. We've been to Dallas, Texas. We went to Ground Zero in New York last year. And I think what happens is the people who are stealing money from the city and the youth have an idea of not knowing how I'm doing it. They wonder how am I being able to do this. So some of them think I have money, but it's not how much money I have. It's doing what I say I'm going to do for the kids. I've had a bad experience dealing with churches, and the churches I deal with have ripped the kids off. And they wonder why I cooperate with them, is because if I tell the kids we're going to North Carolina, I don't lie to them, I end up taking them. Regardless of what the circumstances is, if they do the right thing and start doing right in school and behaving themselves, I'll give them a reward by taking them out of town on field trips. We've already been invited this coming Friday to the General Assembly, but some of them would take notes, take them back to their schools, in the history classes and other classes, to get some type of credit for it. This is a program about behavior, not just basketball. Would you agree with that?
Yes, Coach.
All right, tell me something you think about behavior with it, Brother Reid.
For behavior, you always got to be positive. You got to stay positive and always work hard and just be positive and do the things you got to do.
Why do some of you all think that we have a problem with a lot of juvenile gangs and fighting in the city?
Hanging with the wrong people.
I don't hear you.
Hanging with the wrong people.
That's right.
Hanging with the wrong people.
All right, hanging with the wrong people. What does this program do for you to stop you from doing that?
Give me something to do to help me stay out of trouble.
All right.
Yeah, like he said, it has something to do to keep you out of trouble.
All right. You can hold on to that. They're kind of shy, as you know, because they never did this before. But I like for them to express the way they feel themselves, because everybody says they're not worth anything, they can't do anything, they're not going to be anything. They've written them off. We've had programs where we've given almost 100 awards out to these kids for their accomplishments through this program, but no help from this. This is the first year the police department gave us 15 basketballs. The city gave us 10 basketballs. And we thank God for that, because we didn't know what we were going to be able to do as far as having equipment, because there's no money. And the money that we were going through our church was taken from us, because the church was trying to build them a church instead of helping the kids. It's not about how many members you get in your church, how you can take money from kids to put in your pocket to pay your church bills. It's what you do with the money to help the kids. If the kids are being important, it's not about me, it's not about the church. And I don't even force these kids to go to church. I think at their age, teaching them there is a God that loves them. That's their choice. Their choice whether they get up on Sunday morning and go to church or not. Not whoop them or beat them and tell them they can't play ball if they don't go to your church. And that's what happened to them. We backed away from a lot of church groups because of this. I've always taken these kids for 15 years here in Richmond. I've done this. So I'm hoping if there's any callers out there want to ask us anything about this program, you're welcome to call in and let us know about what you think about the program. Are you concerned about the kids in the street? Do they have dreams? Are they worth anything to you? Do you believe they're worth anything to you? You believe you're worth anything?
Yes.
Who do you think you're worth?
I mean, I'm worth a lot. I can lead myself far if I try hard enough. It's as much as you could do, as hard as you try. And Coach West helped me out of getting me out of trouble on the streets and getting me out of trouble with gang violence and in trouble in school.
And you? Yeah, what do you think?
I think he's a good teacher, and he helps you to keep your grades up in school and stay out of trouble. And, you know, discipline.
What do you think?
I think it's positive for real. Help us do good things and just be successful.
You? I want y'all to tell what you feel. I don't care what it is. Say what you feel on here.
I think he's a good coach. He helps people. He's a good pastor. He helps us stay out of trouble, stay positive. He helps us off the streets. He's just a good person.
Yeah, like the rest of them said, yeah, he's a good coach, and he just helps you whenever you need help, and he doesn't ask for anything back. He just tries to help children such as ourselves, and try to teach us to be independent and positive and be successful for the long run and when we get older and stuff like that. Not only just in basketball, but in life too.
And that's what this program's really about. Finding young people at parents are having problems, single parent homes, and grandmamas who's raising the children by themselves. But you can't depend on the churches, I'll be honest with you. We had to pay last year $120 for 1 hour to use Trent Life Center Church from kids in that neighborhood who didn't have any money. We had to pay it to use half of a gym floor. I don't quite understand when they get these gyms through faith-based money and stuff, why they pick the right ones who got money to pay to use these facilities. Why can't they open these facilities up to kids like this? On the south side alone, in the area they live in, there's no gymnasiums. There's a church with one, but they can pick their own people they want to use it. These kids come from all over the south side, Hillside Court, north side, East Richmond. I have no place in the city I don't go to and work with these kids. Now, I'm considered a sort of a rebel because I'm not going to sit back and allow myself to let any church in this city use these kids in this program to make money to put in their pockets. If I tell the kids I'm going to the movie, I take them. Some of these kids have been to the Golden Corral to eat with me, and I paid for it my own self. It's not about me, it's about these young people. They can become something. They played a scrimmage game tonight against Powell, Post Athletic League, which they won the scrimmage. They've been to North Carolina, which they won. They've already been traveling because we keep our promises, but also they have classes. Last night we had a workshop on how to present yourself to find a job. And that's what we did last night. And some of them was able to present themselves that way properly, to introduce themselves properly, eye contact, which we do this all the time. And one of our programs is, and nobody got your back but you and God. Nobody's got your back but you and God. What does that mean to you?
it means a lot. It means, you could trust people, but you can't trust everybody, but God will always have your back no matter what. And that's what it means to me.
What do you mean? You think your homie got your back?
Not always. God is the number one person that always gonna have your back. I mean, He's the creator of life and the creator of you. So God is, and He's your Father. So God is always gonna have your back before any.
You think your homeboy got your back? I'm asking y'all questions. I want to know it.
Most, but as long as you pray and do the right thing, God will have your back most of the time.
Are you your own individual back plan, or you depend on your homeboy?
On my own individual player, I depend on myself because I know in the long run that don't nobody really have my back with God.
Sometimes my homies have my back, sometimes they don't. But I put God first before anything.
What you're saying is they are learning that God has got their back. So for the churches out there who believe I'm not teaching these young people that God is the source for all their needs, you're wrong. But God is a real God. Jesus loved everybody. He loved kids. He loved everybody. He was more afraid of the preachers. I recall, if I can say this, a few years ago I wanted to go to Dallas, Texas, and I didn't have enough money. I raised up to go there, and we had already paid our fee. And I was on the street in tears in Creighton Court. And two guys on the corner, I guess they were selling drugs, I don't know. They see me and said, "Coach, what's wrong?" I said, "I can't get my kids to Dallas, Texas." They said, "We'll be right back." They went down the street and they came back, they had $700 to hand me. I don't know where they got it from, but I went to every church in that neighborhood and begged them for $5 and couldn't get 5 cents. And the guys on the street had more compassion for these kids than the ones in the church had. So you got to stop and ask yourself a question. Who is God? Who is their God? Is it the thing they use on Sunday morning in the Bible to manipulate people out of their money? I've never been so afraid. Not when I go to Creighton Court, not when I walk the streets at night at Fairfield Court. When I go near these churches, I get fear all over me because these are dangerous people. Because they're sitting in the pulpit and promise they're going to help the young people, and we can't get a dime or a nickel from them. And they call themselves, I'm not going to give it to Coach West, but the point is, want to give it to the kids. Want to do what the police department did. They didn't give me any money. They gave me 15 basketballs. The city didn't give me any money. They gave me 10 basketballs. It's always a way of getting around what you say you don't want to do to help these kids without giving me any money. So if you really want to help these kids, you need to get together. If you want your child in a program like this, it's the best program. We have a pass-up policy, training problems, school problems, and right here at the Dream Academy, we're teaching only older young men to get their GED, high school diplomas. A lot of things are going on at the Dream Academy that is, I can network with my basketball program to make things work for these young people. I appreciate all of them here. I don't know how they can put up with me because I'm hard on them.
Yeah.
Am I hard?
Yeah.
I'm not an easy person to get along with. I'm hard on them. I'm the old granddaddy, you might say. I'm the older guy says to them, the buck stops here. Stop doing what you're doing. Get your act together. Follow a dream. Find a goal and reach it. We have some young men who want to be architects, and some of them ain't going to go to the NBA, but they got other dreams they want to do. This is what the kind of program it is. And that's why a lot of parents that want help for their children will send them to this program, because it is a very disciplined program. And behind all that, we win basketball games. We beat the AAU basketball team. We beat about 8 of them last year. They would be the best in the city. But you can't play ball on this team and quit school. You can't play ball on this team because you can dunk a basketball. This is a program to teach your child how to be a young man. Put his pants up, look like a young man, act like one, get his grades up in school, and be the kind of young man he can be. I got an old saying I say to him. That's, I love you guys. But what did I say y'all about me?
But I'm not no Michael Jackson.
Say it again.
But I'm not no Michael
In
Jackson.
other words, ain't no kid go home with me. I have no never land to put them in. I teach them to be men. Because you got so much stuff going out here the other day, you can't trust anybody. But I don't take them home with me. I will not take them home with me. I'm there for them. If they're in trouble, I'm in the neighborhood for them. There's not a place in the city of Richmond I don't go to. I'm not fighting the young men on the street who are selling drugs and stuff like that, because I think the city knows what's going on. Chief Norwood is having problems right now of staying in Richmond. Now, he's the only police chief that I know that rolled his sleeves up. And me and my basketball team went out in Hillside Court. And he rolled his sleeves up. He didn't tell us to do it, but he rolled his sleeves up and went out there with us and picked up the trash right along with the kids I brought out there. And I don't understand what's going on between the mayor and him and all this stuff, but it looks like we can't keep a police chief in town here. And anytime one puts his sleeves up to go out there and help the community, he's leaving us. So I don't understand what's going on. He works with the kids. He works with the kids in the community. And that's what we need. We need a police chief that's going to work with the community. He's done that. What do y'all think? I mean, you've been in trouble before. What do you think?
Even though I've been in trouble, and I knew I couldn't trust them, but I also learned to work with them because they come show me the right ways and help me out with things that I need to learn in life.
So you see, these kids have not always been completely, but most of them come from homes that have had problems. And thank God that they came in with the dream team. They call it the dream team, not because they're the best in basketball, not because they're winning basketball games, because they have dreams they want to fulfill in life. And that's the whole key. You don't want to be a bum, you don't want to be out in the street. And I dare anybody to brand these kids in this city anymore about being misfits and criminals and pre-delinquents. Because the Bible says, a question was asking, anything good come out of Nazareth. They're talking about Jesus, who was a savior of the world. Came out of a rough neighborhood, you might call it the ghetto, Nazareth. But he came out of there, the savior of the world came out of one of the worst neighborhoods in the Bible. And we classify these kids called Section 8, or they may live in a housing authority, or that kind of neighborhood, and we classify them. So what the city does is writes them off. And the churches do the same thing. The churches say, well, where their mama's at, where their daddy's at, if they can come to church. But they don't want to support them. So what bothers me is, why can they get in these pulpits and preach about the blessing plan when sit here before you tonight is the blessing plan? The Bible says, what you do to these little ones of mine, you do it also unto me. Caller?
Hello?
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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, quick question for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I just want to ask the young brothers, in terms of the impact of rap music. Do they feel like the negative lyrics has an impact in terms of the way they see the world? I just want to get their opinion.
You want to answer that, Brother Reid?
Yes, the N-word has a big impact inside the world. People use it as a cool word, but it's not really meant to be a cool word and stuff like that. I mean, the N-word is powerful, and the way how it changes is just dramatically mad, and how it's just bad. And I can't understand why people use the N-word in a cool way. I mean, we worked ourselves so hard out of slavery, and people still use the word as it's cool. We call ourselves the N-word to each other, especially us black folks and stuff like that.
Did you hear him?
Oh, I could barely make him out. But anyway, I just want to say in closing, Coach, you're doing some good work. And, there are those out here who are trying to do things in terms of creating institutions in the neighborhood for our children. It's very, very important that we create institutions our kids understand precisely what they're up against and what our expectations of them are. So there's a lot of work to be done, and God bless you for what you're doing, Coach. And you guys take care.
All right. I like that question you asked. Anybody else? Because what happens is the church itself, Park and Recreation is doing a good job. A lot of people do some good things out there. But there's something keeping us from coming together. That's something keeping the church from coming together with one positive attitude. If I can bring these kids from different neighborhoods together to sit down together and not fight, but sit together who once was at each other's throats, once who had been shooting at each other, sitting down at the table talking about positive things, why can't the churches in the city of Richmond come together and do something positive? Why does everybody got to be the chief and the leader? Why we can't sit down and say, hey, let's work this out together. We all doing good stuff. Yes, we are. But what's wrong with us coming together? And I like what you did asking the kids questions, because I think many people are afraid to ask them questions because the young man had a good answer. I want you to pick up the next time and talk a little louder, but he had a good answer. It's not cool to use the N-word. That's not good. Using the N-word is not good. They're learning that now. They didn't always learn that, but that's what they're exposed to. You go home in the afternoon outside your door, all you see is drug dealers and homeboys using profanity, calling each other names, talking about shooting the police and acting crazy. These kids see this from the time they're 5 years old or 4 years old up to their age now. So it's not easy for them. But it takes somebody who really loves God, not trying to build a church up to make money for the church, but loves God, to say we got to do something better. Why can't the church just call me up? Why did I have to take these kids to another church that white people own right across town to use the gymnasium when there were black churches in town had some excuse of why they didn't have space for them? But then get in the pulpit on Sunday morning and say, we got to help these kids. I mean, there's nowhere for them to play on the south side except outdoors. It's cold. There's no gym for them to play. They got to go outside on some outdoor court in some neighborhoods they live in because there's no gymnasium. There's no boys clubs where they live. So what are they going to do? They get in trouble. Get themselves involved in stuff because there's nothing else for them to do. I go way across town. Jesus walked across the Sea of Gethsemane to help a man in the graveyard was in trouble. I'll go from the south side to the north side, wherever I got to go, and people don't understand it. I don't even have transportation sometimes when I get there. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I still get there. And somehow, by the grace of God, God allows me to do this. And I thank God for it. I thank God for the attitudes tonight, for the behavior tonight. And what do you think about school? What's the importance of you guys getting more than a 2.0? I keep hearing 2.0, 2.0, and that's failure. Tell me something about that.
Education could open up a big horizon in life. And education is a very important thing to me because when I get older, I want to get a good job of high-paying money to get back to the community.
Bottom right.
Yes, caller.
Hi, my name is Michelle Johnson, and I'm the cousin of Zaire that's sitting up there on the panel with you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say it's a great job what you're doing, and I love him so much, and I'm glad that he's with you.
I appreciate that. Well, he's coming a long way.
He is, and I can see that he's coming a long way while he's been with you.
All right, thank you very much. I sure appreciate
you're
that.
welcome.
That's what we need to hear. That's what he needs to hear. That's what you guys need to hear. You're doing something positive. All they hear is you're doing something bad, or they're going to be in trouble, or they're going to jail, and they ain't going to do this. And nobody speaks positive of these young people at all. But I guarantee you some of these young men are going to be successful. Some of them can be. When Obama was elected president, a lot of these black young men got very inspired because they knew what? You could be something. What do you think about Obama being elected?
And he got a long way. He had a long way coming, being a black president, first black president.
What do you mean by be a long way coming? You're not saying that. You're not telling me nothing.
Like for what Bush did, he got a lot of stuff.
What do you think? Go ahead.
I mean, the first black president, I mean, like he said, we came a long way. The black community, I mean, we've been waiting for this the whole time. And I mean, for him to be the first black president, it brings us black folks together. And I mean, it makes it seem like we can achieve anything because the first black guy to be the head of the house, that's just tremendous and very important and open up to a lot of dreams.
My question to the community tonight is what's wrong with helping these children? I mean, I don't mind a person not liking me and my outgoing personality, but if I got kids I'm trying to help, there's ways you can help those kids without going through me. We need things. We need uniform. We need traveling things. We need food and refreshments. We need Gatorade. The other thing, we go off and play ball and stuff. There's a lot of ways to help them without giving anybody any cash money. Yes, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I wanted to call in and say good job tonight.
What
For the team, you know, Zaire, New York, other two, and Joseph. It's Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Big man.
All right, Tamiko, my big boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
Tamiko, we wish you was here with us, Tamiko.
Yes, sir.
because you're part of this, Tamiko.
Yes, I just wanted to call in and say, yeah, I wanted to put in my word for a good job tonight.
Put it in, Tamiko. You're another teenage young man in the program. Put it in. Tell them how you feel, Tamiko.
Coach West is doing a good job with this program. Our basketball team is a good basketball team. We learning about different stuff, learning how to save, to learn how to ask for a proper job, a proper way.
Yes.
And just to learn different strategies and stuff.
Good, Tamiko. Proud of you. Thank you. That was Tamiko, one of the young men in our program, called in his own self. Thinking, because he comes from the James River area, I believe. I'm a Melothian.
Yeah.
Melothian, and yet still, he's learning to work with these young men. And he called in his own self. He's only 15 years old. He's saying, I'm learning something in this program. I asked a question to the public today. What is wrong with these people? And they hear it, they see it, but they don't believe it. Nobody gets paid to do this. I don't get a dime or a nickel doing this. I take these kids to go to grab with my own money. I pay gas money to people for picking them up. Go ahead. Caller.
Yes, sir. This Coach West?
This is Coach West.
Hey, Coach West, how you doing, sir? I just wanted to see you there with the youth like that, man. It's a real good thing, and I wanted to know what do you get from helping the youth, and what's your I mean, why is it so important to you to deal with these youth? I mean, you could just be, hey, let me worry about me and these things. Why is it so important to you to work with the youth?
I think this is something that happened to me years ago when I was a kid, brought up on the streets without any parents at all. And I was running around some gangs up north in Chicago because I didn't have anybody. And when I see these kids now, I see old Coach West walking the streets, getting in trouble, doing crazy things, but there's no guidance whatsoever. And when I see these kids, I see myself all over again. And I think God has given me a gift that most people don't have, a gift of really caring, making a sacrifice, being put down by people in high places that said, oh, there comes old Coach West. He's the guy with all them old crazy kids. Well, these kids aren't crazy. They have dreams too. And I do it because every time I see one of these kids, like the man called in, young boy I called in a while ago, hear him say this. Or see, last year we had 4 boys to go off to college out of this program. And I'm talking about went to college because of what they did. They didn't go playing basketball. They got their grades up in school. One kid had an ankle brace on his leg when I met him. Ankle brace went off his leg and went to school. He graduated from high school and he's got a job now. And he's also going to J. Sargent Reynolds. I mean, it's not so that we're successful all the time. But I've also seen kids in this city shot down and murdered for leaving a program like this and running the streets. And all they do is light candles about the kid being dead. And nobody wants to step in and say, let us do something of this nature. Park and Recreation does a good job, and they volunteer men I see out there, man, with these kids. It's awesome what Parks and Recreation has been doing. But we need to come together, we really do.
My last question, sir. How important to you is it that these young men have a personal relationship with God?
Because without that personal relationship, I think one of them, I'm going to explain it a while ago itself, and I'll let him explain it to you again, why he needs to have his personal relationship with God. because I tell them that God is the source of their soul supply. There is a God. There is a God. He always ought to be in people who pretend to say there's a God, but there's a God that loves them. And because there's a God that loves them, I'm here for them. For were not for God in my life and God caring about them, I wouldn't be here. God would not be using me.
Okay, all right. And listen, I wish I already see that y'all are blessed, and I see that I know God is going to continue to bless you. I really see that for what you're doing, because you seem like you're a great vessel. God is using you to work with these youth. And y'all, to the young brothers, man, y'all continue to listen to this man and respect him, But like you say, you put God first, man, and I believe everything's going to be added unto you. So y'all have a good night, man. Keep up what you're doing. Stay positive, and keep it moving.
Right.
Love to see what y'all doing. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, what I'm saying to you guys tonight is there are people out there concerned. You see it now. You are doing something that can shake the whole city of Richmond up, because people didn't know this. They didn't know the impact. They're looking for some kid who's making straight A's in school. He's a great scholar in school. He comes from a two-family home, and mom and dad got 3 or 4 cars. Some of y'all probably don't have any transportation at all. Some of y'all mamas have to do the best they can, and some of your fathers do. I got 2 young men I miss so much tonight, and that's Robert Brown, and Sid Savage, who are 2 good kids. If I had the resources and money, I'd be helping them all I could. But I don't have it. And sometimes kids don't understand that. But I don't have it. I do the best I can. And I need the parent support with it. We got the uniform. We promised them uniforms, and we got them. Some of the best looking uniforms, we got them. And on it says the Dream Team. Not because they're the best ball players, but they're going to be the best. But because they have dreams of being something one day, besides locked up in jail. And only God, through Jesus Christ. Yeah, show your jersey. There you are.
Show 'em out.
Dream Team. Dream Team. And I worked hard to make sure this happened. We almost didn't get them because we depended on a church that decided to say they moved the money that's supposed to have been going to the kids to some other account. And they moved this money to some other account. Now, this church never should have did this to us, because that was the money the parents paid for the kids to play. And that's why we don't deal with churches anymore, because churches want to build their church. They want to build their congregation. I'm not trying to build a church or congregation. I'm trying to build character in young people's lives. So if that makes me public enemy number 1 to the church world, then I'm your enemy. I'm your public enemy number 1, because I'm here to build these young people's lives. Yes, caller.
Yeah, I just want to know, I just turned the show. I want to know exactly what is the Dream Academy.
Okay, the Dream Academy is a program located on the north side of town. It's after school program. They have programs in math and reading, book club sponsored by VCU, robotic competition, resume writing, job interviewing skills, and financial skills, how to balance a checkbook and write checkbooks and stuff. We have a conference room there, and this program also teaches kids after school tutoring. And Dream Academy is a program, I call it a nonprofit organization, which I came into when I was talking about giving these kids a dream. I met the director, Joanne Hendricks, who had this program already in place that I needed this part of the program, because these kids needed a place they could come in after school, sit down, get into the computers, and do some positive work along with the basketball.
Okay, along with basketball.
You can't play basketball on this team because you can dunk a ball good. You play basketball on this team. I said, you don't play basketball on this team because you can dunk a ball or shoot a ball. You only can play if you're going to get involved in other activities such as computer work, job skills, training skills, and things of this nature.
Okay, that sounds good, man. So what I do if I got a kid that I know that need to get involved with that?
You send him down to Monument Avenue across from Jewish Center building to a church we use called the Church of Jesus Christ, which is a Mormon building they let us use for our gymnasium basketball activities. You send him down there and get him signed up. We have 4 forms you can fill out, or you can call the Dream Academy at 228, that's 804-228-8200. And then we get a form for him to fill out to be involved in this program in basketball. We do travel. We go to North Carolina, we go to Jersey, we go to Washington, D.C. This summer we're going to Dallas, Texas. We're not AAU, but we play against AAU ball teams for comparative reasons.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds good, man. All right, well, keep up the good work, man. That sounds good.
Oh, we also need volunteer coaches.
Say again?
We also need volunteer coaches.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. If I might have somebody come help.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. All right, now.
All right. You see what's happening? The impact of God knows that what you in need of. And God knows he wants this to work. Only Satan himself, you see what I'm saying, will do this. There's a scripture in the Bible in Romans 12, piece of transforming your mind. In other words, get your mind in a godly way. Change your attitude, young men, and personality that you can live like Christ wants you to live. But in the Bible also, there's another transformer. Y'all remember the movie Transformers?
Yes.
One group turned into cars and machines. They were good people.
Yeah.
But another group turned into cars too.
Mm-hmm.
And they were evil people. So you got people in the pulpit that look just like preachers. Dress nice, got money. They're the evil transformers. But every now and then God steps in some of the churches and raises up some preacher and some of the good ones out there that says, I'm transformer number 1. I want to see you young men's lives change. Ain't about me. Ain't about how much money I can get into the church. Ain't about how much money I'm going to get out of these kids. Most churches don't want to deal with you because you don't have any tithe money. But we said years ago, a child saved is a soul saved. And I believe that with all my heart. I believe we're going to go a long way. And when I was dying of cancer 3 years ago, I was really dying of it. That's when I stopped. And I thought it was the end of me. When the doctor told me they cleared up the cancer, I knew then at my age, God spared me another long time to still work with you all. I left this city and went to North Carolina. I have a church in North Carolina and was going to move there till I got a phone call. Coach, can you come back and work with us a little longer? I came back because I care about the kids I worked with here. And I came back for that reason. I can see the results and they're sitting here with me right now. Y'all really are caring. And don't ever think it's a kid out there I don't care about putting in this program. I do. So I'm saying this to you all now. What do you think the church world needs to do to show they really care about you all as purpose people more than preaching the pulpit? What do you think they need to do?
I mean, show more love to the youth. And it doesn't matter about how many people, like Coach West said, it doesn't matter about how many people are in your ministry. It just matters about giving back to the community. The way Richmond is now, we need a lot of help for the youth because the way it's looking right now, it's a downfall. And then Coach West is just taking the youth off the street to help us out. He's doing a good job at it.
My part is this. Jesus said one time, he said, what have I done to you? I'll come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. I didn't come to hurt the city of Richmond. I didn't come to hurt the preachers. I didn't come to fight against anybody. What has little old Coach West ever done to you that you would look at him and say, I'm going to help the kids? I have to take my hat off to Sergeant Adams and the police department who gave us basketballs. For the city of Richmond, who hear me speak at the city council and gave us basketball, and got a phone call the other day from a church who says, we want those basketballs. Why would you want to take the basketballs back from us? They were given to the kids in this program. They weren't given to you. We're not in the money-making business here. We're not in the money-making business here. We don't charge hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars for kids to be in this program. You know I don't. Some have nothing, but I still fight for them. Some have little, I still fight for them. And I'm going to continue to do it till I drop. I don't stop till we drop. And what makes me feel good about my basketball teams is we're winners. Although they're not the AAU ball players, they win ball games. We beat AAU ball teams. We play them. We beat them. And we beat them not just because we're good ball players, but the discipline is getting here. These kids are going to be great ball players for their high schools next year and year after next. They're going to go places. They're going to end up going to prep schools and playing. Because these kids are learning more than just behavior. I wish I had time to demonstrate what we do, but I don't have room at this table up here. But we have a job training skill program where kids stand up and present themselves to ask for a job properly. By eye contact, and we have those skits that we do with that. Because in life, they got to be able to go out there and look for a job. Don't wait till they get 18 and 19, we're doing it now. You want your child in the program to be meaningful or something, send them to us. Call me at 247-4838, area code 804. Or call Dream Academy at 804-228-8200. But be very careful of someone telling you that when you die, you're going to go to heaven and get your steak. When he's eating his steak and driving 3 Cadillacs down here. If the preacher wants to eat steak down here, you should eat some steak too. God didn't put you on this earth for you both black kids to be poor and wait till y'all die to go to heaven and get rich. You will have the same nice things that these preachers got down here. You can have a nice car, a nice home, a nice family, take care of your children right down here. You ain't got to die in the streets to get there. You don't need nobody lighting no candle saying a virgin for you after you're dead. I want to see people light a candle in this city saying let's stop it from happening. Don't wait till somebody gets killed, some young person, to light a candle. Don't y'all think it'd be better to light that candle before it happens?
Yes, sir.
Would it be nice for the neighbors, the churches to get together and find a day to walk through the neighborhoods before it happens and burn candles?
Yes, sir.
Saying let's stop it from happening, let's prevent it from happening. Why they gotta wait till it happens to light candles? Light them before it happens. Light them for the life that God's trying to give you, young people. Give you a chance to live and follow a dream that God gave you. Y'all want to live, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You think you're worth living?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think you're worth something?
Oh, I think I'm worth something because, I mean, just like everybody else, I got a purpose on this earth. This is like everybody else. He does, and he does. I mean, we all got a purpose on this earth, and we all deserve to live the same way how everybody else deserves to live.
Yeah, it's so sad that people can't see. That's good, son. He said something, I asked him in church one day, I said, why did God wake you people up this morning? And the people in church surprised me. They said, because God loved us. I said, no, that's not the reason he woke you up. He woke you up for purpose. Because he loved the ones that didn't wake up. Every time you wake up in the morning and breathe air, it's for a purpose. God will give you a purpose in life to do something with your life. Don't let nobody take that away from you. And ain't nothing gonna happen to Coach West till I fulfill what I gotta fulfill here on this planet. Otherwise, if not the street people would take me out, because I love the drug dealers. I love the people out there who are doing what they think is right and is wrong for doing it. But they're doing all they know how to try to survive because they don't know Jesus Christ. But I fear religious people who say they know God. The same people who killed my Savior and hung him on the cross was religious people, young people. It wasn't the world. Pilate did not know Jesus, but he said, I found no fault in this young man. He didn't want to hang him on the cross, but those religious people said, kill him. If there's anybody that tried to destroy me now, it's church people. It's not the world out there. The drug dealer said, hey, he's trying to help my cousin. I wish I had him when I was young. You see what I'm saying? For those who are after the pocketbook and the money, I'm putting them on the spot. If I can take $500 and go to North Carolina and come back, stay a couple of days and come back. If I can go to Dallas, Texas, New York City, and all these things, in 1 year, I can take $5,000 and do what they can't do with $2,500. Somebody's stealing money, and I'm putting them on the spot. I took $10,000 year before last. Went to New York, Maryland, D.C., North Carolina, and kept the kids overnight in hotels. At the same time, these churches and agents get hundreds of thousands of dollars and don't do that. That makes them scared of me. Because if I can take $10,000 and do what they can't do with $120,000, something's wrong somewhere. And I think I'm putting them on the spot. Why won't they stop and say, look, let's put this thing together. Let's sit down with Coach West. He's doing something. What can we do to work with him? But every church that came to me wanted to figure out what I could do to get them to take some money. The Republican Party invited me at a church in Church Hill. They came over to the church, took me down to General Assembly, took the kids down there, and took us on a tour. Some church people got a hint of it and said, we'll work with you, Coach West. But then they wanted me to go down and take $20,000 from each of the Republicans, but they could take the money and put it in their pocket. So when I wouldn't do it with them, they turned on me. I would not take people's money if their money ain't gonna go toward the kids. I'm still here with you guys. I don't have much. The biggest story in my life, you were there when I told it, you wasn't there. When I was out of state and was doing this, I had another church that had a big gymnasium, a pool hall, and we had nowhere to play ball at. So they asked me to come in there and bring the kids into the place where they were at. So I took the kids down, about 40 of them. And they told me when I got down there, well, we don't need you no more, Coach West, because we'll help these kids. We got blah, blah, blah. Well, at least I got the kids to that level. I got them where they had a gym and everything. So I told the kids, I won't be back, but I brought y'all as far as I can take you. And these people have a gym, they have pool tables, they have all this for you. Beautiful building. So I walked out the door, and I let the kids see the hurt in my heart. And when I got 3 blocks down the street, I heard a chat behind me, Coach, Coach, Coach. And all 45,000 kids would rather lose all of that and follow me out on that street than to leave me who cared about them, all that they had to offer. We had too many people in this town trying to tear down what I'm trying to do with you guys. But I know y'all feel love is there. But it's only God's love. Only this kind of love can make people do what I'm doing. And I won't stop until I drop. Even when you disappoint me, I won't stop. Because I know you don't mean any harm. You're just being a young man. Anybody else want to have something to say? You think it's necessary for y'all to work together? Anybody?
I think it is important for us to work together, especially in the black community. I mean, you see Caucasian people, they working together and they being successful, and us black folks is just every man for themselves, and we're not working together. I mean, we have to work together to be successful, and that's not what a lot of people in the black community is doing.
I think people are playing political games to gain something for themselves. I remember midnight basketball, they got all this money and funds, and they wouldn't give us a dime to help our kids. We had grown men shooting basketball at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning who wasn't going to look for no job at 6. When the money should have been going to young men like yourselves to teach y'all behavior and stuff. And when y'all got to be 25 and 30 years old, y'all have a job to take care of the babies or the wives or whatever. But his system is designed for you to be destroyed. But God said no. He's not going to let the devil destroy you young people. He's going to raise you up to people like me and some other men I met at the Park and Recreation Department. I was amazed on the football season how those volunteer coaches for Park and Recreation football team was out there coaching them kids and working with them. I was amazed this year to go over to the East Henrico area where Powell is at, where we played tonight. And also over to Hopkins sometime, and you walk by there, those grown men out there trying to help those kids develop something through Park and Rec. But I'm very surprised that the churches have their own little system, their own little jealousy, that they'll say no. They turn their back on us for a gymnasium. We don't have anywhere to play except the white gym, which we use, on Tuesday night only. Mm-hmm. Thank God they're not doing us that way. Thank God the black churches who have gyms have turned their back on us. They always say we don't have any space for you, but there's space for other things. You ought to make some space. Make some space. Make some space. God said there's plenty of good room. You can make some space. You can make that 1 hour a week. You can make that hour and a half a week. But what is that love you claim you have in the pulpit? And you wonder why these kids will not go to church, why their parents have given up, why the people in the community just won't depend on the church anymore. But I tell them today, don't worry about the church. There is a God that lives, that loves all these kids, and loves you out there, young people. All over Richmond, Henrico County, Holland Springs, there is a God that loves you. And he's going to be there for you. Even if you see some things in the churches that ain't right, bypass it and find Christ for yourself. You're young, you want to understand some things. But find somebody that really loves you, that will sacrifice with you and fight for you. He don't have to have a lot of money. He just have that in his heart to fight for you. You know, and that's what you have. That's what I got. Or I could either walk away like the man said. When I had cancer, I could have quit. I could go down to Durham, North Carolina and quit. When I got ready to go to Durham, North Carolina, I had city council members pat me on the back, hoping I would leave and wouldn't come back. Because they feared the truth. Whenever I got to speak, they feared the truth. And the truth will set you free. If they're concerned about you, then they ought to be doing something. Boys and Ruth did not want me to leave, and they tried to help me out. I turned down money from the city council lady, Reid, last year because I wasn't taking one dime, knowing I wasn't going to be in Richmond. I don't take any money. I got the $300 the same day and refused to take it. So I'm sending notice to them right now. I don't need your money in my pocket. I need you to come out there physically and see those kids. I need Reid to come to the gymnasium and stop hiding from the kids on the south side and see what they're doing for herself. Stop believing that we're not doing it and come and see for our own self that we are doing it. Show the kids, as you sit back and listen to what other people are saying, come and see it for yourself. Then you will be the city councilman that the youth in the city of Richmond can depend on. They can't vote for you right now, but their parents can. And pretty soon, some people are going to catch on to this stuff. And they ain't going to put people in office no longer that's just talking it and not doing it. Marty Jewell, if you're out there somewhere, I want you to know we love you, man. We love you so much. You've been fighting for us for a long time in this city. And we're always going to call you our leader. No matter what happens, you can be a leader to us. To Mayor Dwight Jones, you know who I am. Doug Wilder said one thing a long time ago. Coach West does what he says he does with kids. And I rest my case on that. I mean, what else do you think I can do? What do you think they should be doing to help me? Anybody? You think anybody should be helping me?
Sure.
Anybody here?
Everybody should be helping.
You think any of the churches should be helping? For real?
Yes.
Not taking money. I'm not talking for their own pocketbook and for their own membership. You know, I'll help you whether you come to church with me or not. Because I got the kind of love of God in my heart for you. I help people because I don't need no members of the church. Mm-hmm. We're all God's children wherever we go. So if a church is going to help, they'll help you, not demand that you come to their church. Not demand you give an offering to their church. But they'll be there for you regardless. And that's what the problem is. The problem is everybody's trying to scrap to get something in their own pocket. We only have about 5 more minutes. We don't have any more callers, but the callers we did get was pretty good callers. Let's give them a hand, boys. And we want to thank you people out there watching this show. Your parent that has a child at home that has problems dealing with himself and things, you need to give us a call at 804-247-4838. On Tuesday night, right across from the J.C. Jewish Center building, we're right across the street there from 5 o'clock until 7:30. Come by and see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word saying, well, he just talking. Stop hiding behind the corner saying he ain't doing it. Come and see for yourself. We don't brag about what we are doing. We do it. The fire department in Richmond, Virginia gave us a helmet last year to take to Ground Zero. Kid never left the city, went to New York City. And they so got tickled me when he came back because the question they asked me was, hey, Coach, where's all our yellow calves? They had never seen that many yellow calves. They got downtown in Manhattan on 43rd Street. But it was funny, but it was nice. I want these kids to get on the horizon. So I expect to see all of you all at the General Assembly. You've been invited on Friday morning at 9:45. Y'all gonna meet me there?
Yes, sir.
All right, we've been invited to General Assembly. You guys are going places, not only in basketball, but in life. And the city of Richmond is going to be much safer, more better when other young men see what you're trying to do and know they can make their dreams come true too. I want to thank you all for allowing us to be here tonight. I'm going to wind this down now. What do you think at this point now? And not about basketball, you're going to win in basketball. Would you like to see somebody doing talk up loud? to help this program?
And
Talk up loud.
Show more support.
Show more support. Go ahead, son. Pass it around.
Well, help more.
We need more people like Coach West. I mean, not in it for the money, but in it just to care about us and us children. Because when a lot of people fail to realize that we are the generation that's gonna come up, and I mean, if we keep doing the wrong things in life, I mean, the world's gonna be hectic and a lot of bad stuff's gonna happen. So yeah.
we need more help, more sponsors, more support. We just need people to support the youth, period, and help out because there's not too many Coach Wests around. And I'm glad I found this coach because without him, I would still be in trouble right now. So I thank him.
You want to say a prayer for us before we leave?
Go ahead, Reid.
Got 2 minutes. At this time, I want to ask the people out there on the radio land, on TV land, that's watching this, to bow their heads right now with us as we pray. Heavenly Father, in this last minute and a half, we ask you to touch somebody's heart and let them contact us, not for Coach West, for the kids. Lord, you know at my age now I'm decreasing. I may not be around to do this next year, but send some young man our way. Send some volunteer that can take this thing over and do it for the kids. Don't send us a preacher who's trying to build a congregation for him or herself, but send somebody that's going to love these kids and fight that battle as I decrease and go out to sing. Lord, we know that you have someone out there too that cares. Send him our way where he can take this thing into another level with these young men who so deserve to have this kind of thing happen to them in their lives. Ask you to go with us over the highways when we play basketball, in our classrooms, in our gyms, and as we go to General Assembly, be with us, Lord, and give us favor there too. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Y'all bad. Thank you, man. Y'all bad. We gonna make it, man. We bad as bad.